As you can see, this flower is not doing very well. And when the flower doesn't do well, we fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower, right? We all need a certain environment to be our best version, the best flower we can be, right? You got to be kidding me, right? We are not flowers that rely on someone to make the environment work for us. No, we can make the environment work for us and even over time change it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my assertion. It is what I'm here to empower you to do and how I plan to be of service to you over the next few minutes. I want to share a moment with you when I was down on my knees, not to propose, but in excruciating pain. In that knee-down moment, I learned to make the environment work for me, and even over time, managed to change it. Come with me through my memory lane, a couple of decades back or so. A teenager who was cruising through life, comfortably with needs and desires mostly met. Excellent grades with minimal effort that allowed me to land one of the top-notch scholarships in the kingdom at that time. My college career was not any different, but with few more bad habits. Chief among them is I embraced the US dietary habits fully, with junk food dominating my daily entrees, and sweets and candy becoming my healthy snacks in between. But nothing lasts forever. For me, my life came crashing in my senior year. Few weeks before graduation, after we just got our rings sized and our gowns fitted, on a lively and lovely spring afternoon, on a fantastic pitch overseeing the Rocky Mountains, we were playing a physical game of football, and I got tackled hard on my right knee. It was painful, and I walked it off, but not for too long. My knee ultimately gave away, and I buckled to the ground, in complete pain, unable to move, and not able to bend my knee. Few hours later, my orthopedist was showing me the different ligaments that I have torn before he turned around, walked slowly to me, put his hand on my shoulder, looked me straight in the eye, and said, "Son, the normal procedure to fix a situation like yours makes it extremely likely that any degeneration you have in your right knee would be accelerated to the point that you would require a knee replacement in your 40s. Talk about a gut punch. This is not how I pictured my 20s to be, and a knee replacement definitely not what I envisaged my 40s to be. And if this wasn't enough, remember my dietary habits? Like economists say, there is no free lunch in life. And in my case, that was 275 pounds of the finest fat junk food can offer you. And in case you're wondering, that is indeed me. My life started to spiral out of control, all the way to darkness, quite figuratively and literally. I locked myself in, trying to fathom, to understand what's going on. It was ultimately, why me? A few days later, I found myself before a mirror, leaning on my crutches, still in pain, and I saw myself like I have never seen myself before. A frowny, lifeless face that was masked with the scruffy beard, the messed up hair, and that huge frame that I've never noticed before, and that huge belly, that stood out. What a mess I got myself into. In that exact moment, it hit me that no amount of bitterness I felt toward myself would fix my situation. I found myself starting to utter, no more, no more, no more. I snapped a photo of myself right then and right there, fully determined to fix the mess I got myself into. I had my procedure a few weeks later, a successful one, thank God, which was followed by a grueling 3 months of intense therapy. That was a complete failure that set me back even further. But controlled the controllable, and I endured. I applied myself for the next couple of years with daily physical therapy and training of at least a couple hours a day. And I got myself to learn to walk again, all the way to jogging somewhat by the end of it. And I managed to bend my knee fully 4 years post my procedure. And in case you're wondering, I did manage to get the weight off. 75 pounds in less than 1 year since that photo was taken, and a few more in the years afterward. Life was fun. Life had a purpose. Now you may wonder, do we have knee-down moments in our professional lives too? And I implore you, does any of these sound or feel familiar to you? When you present an idea to your boss and he tells you, listen, I'm the thinker here, you're just a doer. When you are not invited to meetings, when you are kept out of a work email chain, or even worse, when you are labeled argumentative, when your only crime was bringing a different perspective to the table. If these are not knee-down moments, what is? So, how can we make the environment work for us and even change it? I'm going to tackle this from two ends. One to you, leaders out there, and one to you, my fellow employees. Leaders, start by building trust. Trust is built on small doses with a huge payout. And if you ask your finance colleagues, they will tell you this is a fantastic deal to take. Many years back in my M&A days, we used to have a fantastic and excellent performer by the name of Mizan. Mizan was a sweet joy to see every day, but he was off for a couple of weeks. Quality was lousy, performance was poor, and he was constantly late. A couple of my colleagues let him have it, on the spot, in front of me trying to fix the situation. But Mizan did not respond. He looked down despondent. I jumped in, inquiring why wasn't he his cheerful self. Mizan then told us that his wife was in labor as we speak, and she was having complications. Coffee and tea did not matter. We all gathered around him, prayed for him and his family, and we tried to uplift his morale. That's it. The very next week, Mizan comes to me and shows me a picture of his lovely wife and their newborn, telling me about the trip he's taken to see them and the life he envisages for them in the future. So rather than losing this otherwise outstanding performer, who's been with us for at least 5 years, Mizan continued for a few more. And all I did was inquire. Trust is built on empathy, and empathy is built on inquiry. Now to you, my fellow employees. Start by being the best version that you can be. Let me repeat. Be the best version that you can be. When you are left out of a work email chain or not invited to meetings, What value can you bring to the table that your attendance is not just a courtesy, but rather a necessity? How do you get there? Is by applying yourself. Expand your horizon and help your organization get where it aspires to go. So take charge, get involved in initiatives, and try to work in cross-functional work. A few years back, we had a new joiner, a fresh graduate by the name of Nasser, who came to me inquiring to join the credit rating work we do for SABIC. We assigned Nasser a specific section of the huge deck that we do for the credit rating. And Nasser was something different. He was dedicated, disciplined, would stay as long as I stayed. 2 to 4 hours, post-office hours, daily, and would deliver quality work ahead of time. A couple of months later, around 6 or 7 p.m., I see Nasser in front of my office, hesitating to come in. I knew something was up. He ultimately collected himself, walked in, sat down, and proceeded to tell me how appreciative he is of the opportunity. But he did not see value in the work he did, as he was not copied in the work of the other work streams, nor did he have access to their work. Nasser continued that he will still remain dedicated and will deliver with the same quality. And we still had a couple of months to go. But if things do not change, most likely he will not continue with us the next year. By being this dedicated performer, with this excellent output, and above all, having the courage to speak up in the manner he did, Nasser did not just change the environment. Nasser did not just make the environment work for him. He changed it to the point where he ultimately succeeded me in leading the credit rating work and became one of the finest young leaders in our industry in the process. So, ladies and gentlemen, we all have a knee down moment. What is yours? And what are you going to do about it? Thank you very much.